Turn on the flashlight here. Come on, flashlight, turn on. There we go.
Okay.
Bright.
What I've done is I've unplugged the stove from the wall. I've disconnected the battery from the stove.
Right, so there's no power coming from anywhere.
No power coming from anywhere, and I've disconnected the wires to the motor.
Okay.
What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get the auger to turn backwards.
Right.
So I'm not sure which polarity I need to use, so I'm going to just kind of touch the leads to the motor terminals. It's not going to turn very fast. It's like 300 turns to 1 or something like that.
Okay. Stop. It definitely moved it, so let's see if we can get it out now.
Okay, so did it move it?
It moved
it up?
I couldn't tell which way it was going, but it moved the screw.
Okay, let me
get a pair of pliers or something. You have to take it off my wrist.
I've got the pliers behind you.
So you hold this. It's like working down a well.
It is. I'll keep out of the way.
I can't. Yeah, your hat was in the way. It moves. It's not as tight as it was.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try pumping the motor again.
Okay.
And see if you can tell which way the auger is turning.
Yeah. It just may have fallen through. I can't see it anymore. And it's out.
Yay. Okay, let me look at the screw. That's not one of ours.
That's not one of ours for sure. I haven't used a screw like that in forever. I'm convinced that came in one of the containers of pellets.
It definitely did.
There's nothing like it in the stove. And
that's a wood screw.
It's a wood screw. Yeah. Whew, Jesus.
We'll find out if the gearbox or the motor's messed up. The motor seems fine, and the auger turned a bit, so
yeah,
it looks like we might be okay. But I'm gonna go ahead and plug this back together, and we'll see if we can make it work.
Drama. That's annoying. Smile, you uncanted banana.
Now I'm in focus.
Nothing like plugging in plugs underneath things.
Put my hat back on.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise your head might fall off.
It might fall off anyway. Now,
need to clean the door and vacuum out the inside.
I'm just going to plug this in and see if I can get the auger to start running.
Right. If you need a flashlight, let me know.
This is a keyed connector, so it only go in one way.
I love keyed connectors. They're sometimes hard to connect, but at least you know you haven't screwed it up and put it on wrong. Can you see it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I have it lined up perfectly.
Yes, there is. The fan goes on.
Yeah, the problem with doing this kind of a repair is if I made a mistake in hooking up the electricity wrong, I could have burned out a $700 controller board. Oh, and by the way, that auger is $450.
Doesn't surprise me. This was an expensive stove to start with.
Well,
And that was how many years ago?
now this stove runs about between $4,000 and $6,000.
Right. Well, it's fancier than it has to be. It's not just utilitarian. We decided we wanted something spiffy. Which it is. It's dusty right now, but it's very spiffy anyway. It was less dusty before we started taking everything apart.
You can come see, you can get a shot down in here. I'm waiting for that auger to start turning. I just want to make sure it's going the right direction.
Right. I don't know which was the right direction, actually.
Well, it will turn so it pushes the pellets towards you.
Of course, what it's doing is heating up the heating element right now.
All right.
Is the generator on? Sometimes that screws up.
It's on. It doesn't matter. All I want is the auger to start turning.
Right.
The only issue here is whether or not it does turn. And if it does turn, if I put the connectors back on the right tabs of that motor. Things take forever when you want it to start going.
This is called slow TV. Not quite like watching paint dry, but
Almost as good.
yeah. Watching pellets absorb moisture from the atmosphere.
I bet we're getting good echo out of that.
Hello. Yeah, I haven't been in here in a while. I used to get in here a couple times a month at least and vacuum. But
Well, we haven't needed to with these better pellets.
Right,
And
but
one of the
still I'll
issues-
suck up all that dust, you know, sort of thing.
And one of the issues with pellet stoves is if you get the wrong kind of pellets, you get a lot of,
Gooey dust.
well, you get a lot of resin, and the resin makes everything stick to it. They should start turning any second now. Yeah, this is one of those cases where you actually do need two people with hands.
Although I've done this kind of crap with my teeth before, I just don't like to do it. I'm sure my dentist would not approve.
Well,
You hold the flashlight in your teeth, and you...
let me tell you, your arms aren't long enough to your eyes to reach down there and tap those connections on the motor
No.
and watch what's going on up here. Not turning.
Takes quite a while, though. I've never timed it to see how long it takes.
I think it's a couple of minutes for
At least a couple of minutes.
it to clear out the gases in the burn chamber.
Should we have dramatic music in the background?
The big thing is I haven't wanted to put all the covers back on until
No.
we see how this goes.
There's nothing like putting covers back on and then it doesn't work, and then you're like, oh, bless it.
Then take it all apart.
I've done that before. It's not with this, but with other things, it's really no fun.
It should be turning.
It should be. It isn't.
Okay. Another company I get to call. I just pulled the plugs off the tabs. I put them back on.
You put them on the right way, right? I mean, which tab is what goes to which?
Yes.
I mean,
Well, if I put it on wrong, it'd just be going backwards.
maybe. Do you need a flashlight?
No, I can see the nuts.
If you need a longer extension, let me know, because I know where there are some. Would you like the longer extension?
No.
Oh, I'm cleaning up things and I got dust. Attack of the dust monster. This is disconnected too?
Everything's disconnected.
Because I'm seeing wires, that's why I asked.
Yeah, no, it's been disconnected.
Okay, cool. And I can tell this is disconnected because there's no plug in the wall. That's a gentle hint that, you know, most things have electricity traveling by wire. We rarely use a bare arc in order to provide our appliances with wire.
If you'll look in the top and see if things start moving out.
Okay. Yes. Whee! Just came right out. Cool.
I'm going to take this apart and see if I can figure out where the
problem is?
Where the defect is.
Okay. Cool.
After a lot of help from, believe it or not, the receptionist at Thalen Company, I have some information that allowed me to get this auger out of the pellet stove. And now I'm going to test it. The motor's turning, but the auger itself is not turning. Now it's turning. Now it's not turning. It feels like the coupler in here may be stripped out. I'm going to go ahead and take this apart and see if that's the case. There's a little red mark right here. That's for the positive for this motor. I'm going to hook my power supply back up. I've set the power supply to produce 12 volts. The problem's in the transmission right here. The motor's turning, but this doesn't. And when it turns, at some point, it starts skipping. Well, now I know what I need to order. The hits just keep on coming. We've had overcast days now for more than 10 days, which means